In the second half of the trading week, market participants will have an opportunity to assess the current economic conditions in Europe and find out the economic outlook from the EU monetary authorities. Will this information influence market quotes on Forex? Let's discuss in a video calendar on InstaForex TV channel. On Thursday, the ECB is holding a regular policy meeting which is likely to end up with the key interest rate at the current zero level. At the latest policy meeting, the EU monetary authorities also put interest rates on hold. Besides, the ECB officials decided to extend the ongoing bond buying program worth €1,850 billion until at least March 2022. The monetary authorities agreed that consumer inflation got stuck at extremely low rates, still far away from the ECB target level. At the same time, the overvalued euro makes the situation worse, raising risks of inflation expectations. The protracted pandemic and its fallout for economic and financial conditions are the main culprits for a steeper downturn in the EU economy. Such gloomy prospects could weaken the single European currency. As usual, on Thursdays, investors monitor a weekly update on unemployment claims in the United States. The scores in the recent reports inspired optimism about improvement in the US labor market. The positive trend in the labor market is anticipated in the fresh portion of statistics. Analysts project contraction both in the first-time and continuing claims for unemployment benefits. In recent keynote speeches, Fed's chairman Jerome Powell reiterated that the official funds rate would be capped at around zero until inflation accelerates to 2% and until the labor market reaches full employment. A decline in numbers of jobless claims could become the reason for expectations of a rate hike by the US Central Bank ahead of schedule. In turn, this will ensure the US dollar's strength. On Friday, the greenback is likely to extend gains, especially against the euro and the pound sterling, following the release of reports on industrial production in the UK and the euro area. Given the lockdown in the United Kingdom that came into effect in January, industrial production is expected to decline even deeper. Economists project a 3.8% drop. However, some fears that the contraction may be far steeper, which of course is bearish for the pound sterling. Industrial production data from the euro area is also likely to be disappointing. In the eurozone, industrial output is forecasted to tumble by 2.7% in annual terms in January. If so, the euro will weaken considerably. This is why the US dollar is highly likely to assert strength against the euro. However, there is a currency that may end the week with gains versus the US dollar. This is the Canadian dollar, whose growth might be bolstered by the labor market data. Analysts tracking macroeconomic news from Canada suggested that in February, the unemployment rate in Canada is likely to fall from 9.4% to 9.3%. The Canadian economy is expected to add 52,500 jobs. If so, the Canadian currency is sure to advance amid such upbeat data. You were watching Forex Trader Calendar on InstaForex TV channel with me, Kate Tikhina. We wish you profitable deals with InstaForex.